Okay, today we're going to talk about solving a system of equations using substitution. So this method is pretty algebraic. It's different than isolating for y and plugging into our calculator. Um, well, I guess it's not that different. We can still isolate for y, but this time we can isolate for x as well. But the goal is to plug in one equation into the other. So the first thing I'll do is label my equations. I'll label my first equation as equation 1. And I'll label my second equation as equation 2. Once I have these labels, I want to plug one equation into the other. Because equation 1 is already in y equals to form, I don't have to isolate for that one, so I'm going to plug equation 1 into 2. So plug 1 into 2. So for equation 2, I have 3x plus y equals to 15. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm still going to write 3x, but when I get to this y here, because equation 1 is y equals to 5x minus 1, instead of plugging in y here, I'm just going to plug in 5x minus 1. And I'll let that equal to 15. See, I can do that because what I'm looking for is a solution. So at the point where both these equations equal, that's an intersection point. So that's why I'm allowed to say that y equals to 5x minus 1. And I see a y here by itself, so I just plugged in y directly, which happens to also equal to 5x minus 1. Here now I just simplify using algebra and solve. So the thing I'll start is, let's rewrite this now. So I got 3x plus 5x minus 1. There's no multiplication sign in front of the bracket, so I didn't have to do any of that. So I just kind of, or there's no negative sign either. It's a positive sign, so I just redistributed the positive into everything. And now I got 3x plus 5x minus 1 equals to 15. Let's add up the like terms that we do have. So 3x plus 5x would be 8x. Minus 1 equals to 15. From here, I can add a 1 to both sides to get rid of it. So I have, because I'm going to try to look for, isolate x by itself so I can solve for it. So let's add 1 to both sides. And once we do that, we should have 8x equals to 16. Now, 8x equals to 16 is what we simplified to so far. Let's continue. So we can divide the 8 from both sides, or from every term. That's the more precise way of saying it. We'll divide 8 from every term. In this case, there's 2 terms here. So 8 divided by 8 equals x, and 16 divided by 8 equals to 2. So I have x equals to 2. So I found my first point. Now to find y, I can just plug in the value of x back into any of the equations that I had before. So I can plug it into equation 1 or equation 2 and then solve for y that way. But because equation 1 is already in y equals to form, I'm just going to plug 2 back into y, or back into equation 1. So in this case, I have y equals to 5x minus 1. So I'm going to plug in x into this equation. So y equals to 5. And now I'm going to say times 2 minus 1. So see, I just plugged the x back into here. Now I just simplify. So y equals to, well, 5 times 2 is 10. So I got 10, and then 10 minus 1. That means y equals to 10 minus 1, which happens to be 9. So those are my points. I found my x point and my y point. So once I do that, I can say that my point of intersection or solution to the system of equation is 2, 9.